Welcome to Trial by Wine. We take a closer look at crimes that highlight how fascinating humans can be. Schmitty, Swanee and Clarky visit crimes and run them through their jury of three, debating both sides of the case to agree an appropriate, if totally fictitious, sentence. Please be advised, Trial by Wine may include explicit or disturbing content and will include drunken rambling. Listener discretion is advised. All right. Hello. How are we?
Wonderful.
Well, hi. Quite well, thanks.
How tricks? I think we just had a quick wee break, so we don't have probably much.
I don't have any tricks.
Should we fess up that we're doing back-to-backs and therefore we might need to cut some of the intro?
Yeah. We're just recording another episode, so if you listen to the last one, that's where we're at.
Yeah.
And if you didn't listen to the last one, why didn't you listen to the last one? It's really good.
Yeah, correct.
So,
go back and listen to it now and then listen to this one.
And then listen to this and you'll know where we're at. So what are we drinking?
I'm glad you asked.
No, not that
you
one.
boys on a new bottle?
Well,
Yes, we are.
we do. Well, I'm not yet. Stuart is.
Right.
What have
you
do you
got
want to tell
there,
them what it
Drew?
is, Dal?
I'll tell you what it is. It's a Del Zotto Pinot Grigio 2021. Delicious. Lovely labels as well.
It's
Yum,
nice,
yum,
isn't it?
yum. I'm about halfway through the Valley of the Secrets, the Aldi wine I spoke about in the last...
Ye olde
Aldi.
Aldi.
Ye
Aldi,
Aldi.
Yeah, no.
or as my friend Gab calls it, Aldi. The
Aldi.
Aldi one. I don't know. I used to live in the UK and I still miss Lidl. I like to go and do a little shopping at Lidl. Well, I think they called it Lidl, but I like to call it Lidl.
I
do a
always
little
call
shopping.
it little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Swanee, a little bit of water.
Water.
Bevy Lacqua. Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Oh,
you know,
is
the
it-
time difference is a problem, and Swanee's got to pick up her chillins, so
Is
she's
it
always very responsible.
Evian? You know, like some French.
Not even.
Water.
It's let's be really honest, it's a soda stream bottle full of tap water that God knows how many of my children have drunk out of the top of, and that is festy in itself, so I apologise.
Oh.
You with all your fancy wine and champagne and me
You
with
have a way with words.
I actually
I know.
thought you said
Must say.
festive.
No,
I'm trying to work that out in the then I cottoned on.
Yeah, because
I just
sparkling,
grab-
it's a celebration in a glass.
I haven't even put it, I haven't even put some gas. Was it, the gas, I guess? With
Oh, you haven't even
You
soda
didn't even
streamed
carbonate
it?
No, I haven't used the soda stream in, frankly, years.
Hey,
I
Swanee.
love it.
Swanee,
Yeah.
I love how you're saying I haven't even put some gas, and I'm going, you haven't even soda streamed it, and then Schmitty goes, you haven't even carbonated it.
That's
You
the one I
know,
was
there's
after.
just stuff that she knows,
She
isn't
knows.
there?
She knows shit.
And no one had to die in the making of that story.
As I was saying it, I was like, what's it called? I don't know. Can't
Yeah.
Thank you.
You haven't-
No.
I would have gone aerated it or
Fart
something.
noise. That's what we call it.
So, I also have a bottle of Soda Stream, and Swanee, I bleach the tops because sometimes you're right, they get a bit festy.
They do get a bit festy,
Probably indicates the end of life for the bottle, but you know.
Well, some
I'm
of
a bit
them, I
tight.
think, I do that. I throw them out. This one, I just happen to notice in the.
They do have use-by dates on them.
They do. This one's literally October 2022, so it's about to run out of its
I've noticed
use-by
ours
date.
expand a little bit more
Where's the
now than
use-by
what they
date?
used to. On the
It's
bottle.
on a little warning on the bottle. Down there it says,
Sounds
do not
good.
use after October 2022. And
Yeah.
so I figure I've still got 10 days.
But I feel like
Oh my God! I've never seen that, but I can see it now. What's your date?
Oh, no, 71.
that was brilliant.
October 2022.
Mine's the same.
Is this the most educational podcast ever?
It might be. Is that one of those
think
things where I was like,
everybody learned
I
a little
was
thing
today days old when I discovered it, and it goes,
Today days old.
I was today days old.
Please put
Where's
that
that
on
from?
Facebook.
Oh, stop
You
it.
see it on Facebook all the
Don't
time.
know,
I was
Facebook.
today days old when I learned something obvious
Yeah,
that no
well,
one
that was a
had
today
ever told
days
me.
old.
Oh, today, days old.
I think
right.
we should put that on.
Yeah.
Never use if damaged or deformed.
Yeah,
Now that I
and
actually
don't
look at
put it in the dishwasher. And and I bought one for Tony,
Yeah.
and I brought brand new bottles, and I went in a week later, and they were in the dishwasher, and they were all melted. I'm like, what are you doing? I told you, never put them in the dishwasher. He found that hard to believe.
And
but
there's
anyway.
proof that he doesn't listen.
I don't
ever you
need that.
needed it.
I don't need that much proof, I'll tell you. The other day, we were sitting around and it was raining and raining, and we were having dinner with the family, and everyone, Mum, Dave, Kate, and I were all talking about how the cellar was probably a swimming pool, massively full of water. And we went on for, I think, a good 5 minutes talking about how the cellar was full of water. And Tony was sitting to my right, and the conversation dies, and Tony turns to all of us and says, I wonder how much water's in the cellar right now. And I looked at him and I was like, was that a joke? And he goes, no. Were you all just talking about that? I'm like, for at least 5 minutes, that's been our topic.
Wow.
Oh, sorry, I was focused on something else. I'm like, right.
That was a
And
good
everyone
opportunity
laughed.
to say, are you pulling my dick, Veronica?
It was indeed.
Seriously?
Well, pretty much my face and my tone of voice said
Said that.
Are you pulling my dick, Veronica? That's right.
3, 2,
Anyway.
1, you're back in the room.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And that's the man I'm going to marry.
And hence, no proof is needed as to whether or not he's listening. Right.
Correct.
But we do love
So,
you,
hang
Tony.
We do. Who are we? I'm Schmitty.
I'm Swanee.
And I'm Clarky. And together we are... Close your eyes for it. Bye.
Yay! That's a really good one.
Oh, I think
Oh, that's
a little...
whatever.
I think I was a little
Cracker.
too late with the close your eyes for it and it threw everything. But
That's
anyway,
all right.
good fun.
Okay, Clarky, what have you got for us today?
Oh, my goodness. Well, there's nothing like doing back-to-back. Note to self, never brag that you've got 2 stories in the bank because this is what happens.
Especially when Swanee and Schmitty are ahead of you. That's right.
Correct. So I'm going to tell you about the story of, I'm going to call it a story of Zarah Baker. I did have a different name in mind, but no, we're going to go with Zarah. And my sources are mamamia.com.au, 60 Minutes, Wikipedia, stayatHomeMum.com.au, and murderpedia.com.
Oh.
So
Theme already emerging. Yep.
you might judge from that there is, but you might deduce, I think is the correct word, that this is about a murder. And also there's some Australian themes to it. So let me tell you about Zarah Baker. She was born on the 16th of November 1999 to Emily Dietrich and Adam Baker, who both lived in Wagga Wagga.
Oh, right.
For those of you who aren't from Australia, Australia has some beautiful country names that are just the same word repeated twice. So there's Wagga Wagga, Woy, I think Grong Grong, there's a whole lot of them. We'll call it Wagga, is where she was born. So Emily Dietrich had postpartum depression after Zara's birth and gave up custody to Adam. Adam took Zarah and moved with his parents to Queensland in 2004 to work for a sugar mill. Zarah, who was diagnosed with bone cancer in 2005, later suffered a bout of lung cancer as well.
Hang on, what, the child?
The child, yep.
So what, she's only 6 years old?
At 6, correct, yeah.
Oh.
As a result, she had the lower part of one leg amputated and had to wear hearing aids. Interestingly, I'm not sure about the connection between bone cancer and lung cancer and hearing
may have
aids,
just
but
been-
might have been
I
something
don't know
to do
about
with
the
the
hearing
treatment.
aids,
Who knows?
but I think bone cancer and,
Yeah, the leg
they can
amputation I
move.
get, but
yeah, but you can start with one primary and then you develop secondary cancers. So, yeah.
is
Pretty
it,
Anyway.
hardcore for a little
It's
6-year-old.
terrible.
is it wrong to say
Terrible.
that she was just in so much pain that she wasn't listening?
Poor-
I'm always good with the deaf jokes because my
Yes.
sister's deaf, and so I grew up around that. So I have to just say that. But
Bit of a
Sorry,
carry
a little
on.
bit desensitized.
Oh, well,
Yes, it is wrong is the answer.
well, also there's something about I think the Australian sense of humour where you make jokes about people that you love and the things that I like to bring things to the forefront so that they don't get stowed away and fester in the background. So yeah. Anyway, enough about that. Edit.
Just as an explainer as to
Yeah.
why we are really inappropriate. at
Just in
times.
case you don't, edit it out. There's the explanation. So please don't leave the joke in and edit out the explanation because then I'll just look like a complete asshole. Exactly.
You're in control.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go on, please.
So Adam Baker met Elisa Fairchild online on an IMVU website. I don't even know what that is. I really should have researched that, but who wants to get stuck in the detail?
I am venereal something.
Oh, stop.
it's a joke.
Too far. I have soiled undies.
Sorry.
No. Elisa Fairchild visited Adam Baker in Queensland and they were soon married. Oh, God, I'm doing it again. So Elisa is spelled Elisa, so it could be Elisa, given that she's American.
But it's that name.
I know.
What is it with you and Elisa? My sister's an Elisa.
No, the onus is on the people that have these names. We can't.
I reckon you're 100%
Exactly. Or their mothers or their parents.
Eliza, Elisa.
I blame the family.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, I can barely remember my friends' names, let alone random names I'm reading in an article.
Let's just call her Hub. Joke.
Exactly.
Joke.
Does she have a club? We'll find out later. So Elisa had been previously married how many times?
6.
Correct.
No way.
I went high as a joke.
Wow.
Psychic. Woo.
How old was she?
5? I don't know.
14.
Yeah, 7.
She was on
She could be,
an excited.
I made an assumption that the little girl's father was quite young because she was young. And
I feel like they're all young, but you know.
So how old are they?
Oh my God, an IMVU is a virtual world thing.
Ah.
It's the avatar bullshit thing, you know, where you make up a version of yourself. There you go. Sorry. I was stuck on that. I had venereal, but no.
I'm happier with soiled undies.
Hang on. I think I found the wrong one. I found someone.
What did you find?
Elisa Fairchild Baker in North Carolina.
That's her.
She's a witch.
American.
She's an old witch. She's
in the photo you're looking at, not when they met.
It's called A Hard Life.
I think one might call it rode hard and put away wet.
Okay.
Yes. Or seventh marriage. You know, I feel like that would age you pretty quickly. Anyway, read no more because I gave you one task and you haven't fulfilled it.
She's older than I thought.
Yeah, right.
She's older than I thought.
What was the task?
I had to find out their age because I thought because the little girl was so young that the father might be quite young. So when you said that the woman had been married 6 times, I thought, that suggests she's a little bit older. Was she a bit older than Adam, perhaps?
Again, I gave you one task.
I don't know and I don't care, Carla. Okay.
It's okay. Okay, so anyway.
What about if I looked at her age and then I found out, I'll find out her age.
Find out when she was born and then we can work it out backwards from that.
1968.
68. She's 55.
Yeah, but then she was only 36 54. Or something.
Okay.
But so let's say it was 2006. Then what is she? 40, and she's been married 6 times and about to get married a 7th.
Jeepers.
Hot stuff.
Did you say?
I'm going to call her a repeat offender.
A recidivist?
Recidivist is a good word.
I think what Schmitty did say was important, though. What did you say the site was about what we found? Like it was like a
IMVU, an avatar thing.
It was an avatar.
So playing games online, are they?
Is it like a fictional world where everyone soils their undies?
No, it's a fictional world.
You nodded to start with, and I thought, yes, I've got
fictional world. Fictional world,
right.
but it's where you create a version of yourself that you want to project to the world. I bet her avatar doesn't look as rode hard and put away wet as she does.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's true. Right. So anyway, back to the story. She'd been previously married 6 times and was still married at the time she met Adam Baker. In 2008, Zarah's cancer went into remission.
Oh, good.
Shortly before she moved to the United States from Australia with her father and new stepmother.
How can you even do that? No one can go to the US. It's not easy. I'm impressed that they were able to do it.
Well, she was American, so that would help.
But when they met, did they meet in Australia?
No, they met online, and then she visited
was she
him
living
No, she visited in
She
Queensland.
came from the US to Queensland to meet Adam. They hooked up, they got married, and then went back to the US. Okay.
Looking like that, Carla.
I have a bit of a flashback to that time we were all sitting around the table talking about the wine cellar being flooded. I feel like, Swanee, you've just...
It's taken me a little while. But it does take me back to my my obsession with interventions, because I've been watching interventions, as I said, and I mentioned this in the last episode, where it's about people with severe drug and alcohol issues. You know, most of them are on death's doorstep. The last 2 episodes that I've seen, both the young girls in it who are actually not that young, they're probably late 20s, both of them have got boyfriends at the moment who are not using. And these women
That's
are
remarkable.
so sick and, drinking 2 bottles of whiskey a day, plus doing meth, plus doing that. But they've still got boyfriends. So I'm looking at it thinking, I know what people are going to think when they watch this. It's like, oh, my God, how can she get a girlfriend and I can't, or her boyfriend and I can't? It's that kind of, to the point where this woman here, she's been married 6 times. She can still get another person to marry her. It just never ceases to amaze me.
I feel like Elisa needs an intervention from her marrying addiction.
I had 14 years of being single. I hear you, Swan.
I know if you had it, I need you to get onto interventions. They've all got a bloody boyfriend
by the sound of it.
I know. And some of them seem quite nice, and then the families complain that they're probably enabling. But 2 of them don't use, and most of them do. That's part of the problem. But these latest 2 that I saw don't use. So they're just boyfriends.
But their partners do.
I'm going to go with low standards.
Their partners don't use, and they are like massive addicts. But they seem to be living with people who sort of just
put up with it.
Yes, one of them said was he allowed her to do it because he's fearful that if if he doesn't allow her to do it, she'd leave him. But she's so off her head.
So who's paying for it?
That's why I was single for 14 years, because I've got self-respect.
I know, it was
and
remarkable.
Standards.
I'm going to get you all onto interventions. It's a slippery slope, and you'll be obsessed. Moving right along. Sorry,
I have tried to get you on Naked and Afraid, Below Deck, and 90.
And I've given you nothing.
I've given you nothing. Fiance, I'm telling you, my latest. Anyway, moving on.
I'm a tough audience in that regard. So they moved to the United States. After moving to North Carolina, the Bakers settled in Hickory, where Zarah attended public school until she was removed to start homeschooling.
Oh. Okay.
I feel like that's a red flag. It is not known, though, if she was ever actually homeschooled. It is suspected Zarah was taken out of public school because reports of child abuse were made to the school, implicating Elisa. Many neighbours of Zarah's claimed that Elisa was physically and mentally abusive and neglected the child. 2 teachers visited Zarah's home after Zarah came to school with a black eye in a public school in Hudson while she was in the 4th grade. Child Protective Services from both Caldwell County and Catawba County, I probably mispronounced that, visited the various residences of Zarah multiple times. The Bakers had moved a few times in both these counties before settling in Hickory. Reports of Elisa's abusive behaviour have been investigated by the Department of Social Services in regards to Elisa's own biological children dating back as far as 1999. Elisa had a daughter from a previous boyfriend and a son and a daughter from a previous marriage. So 7 marriages, 3 children to the previous lot, and then Zarah as a step, and reports of abusive behaviour to all of the children. Quality.
Nice partner.
So, early in the morning of October the 9th, 2010, Elisa made a 911 call. She was reporting a fire at the back of their family residence in Hickory. When the police attended the scene, they found a ransom note and Adam's company truck smelling strongly of gasoline. Later that same day, Adam Baker called 911 and reported his daughter missing. He explained that the ransom note that the police had found was addressed to his boss and landlord, Mark Coffey. Adam told police he believed that somebody had deliberately lit the fire as a distraction in order to take Zarah, and he believed that they had mistaken her for Mr. Coffey's daughter. According to Adam, he had last seen his daughter at 2:30 a.m. in the morning when he'd left for work. Zara's father also explained why it had taken him more than 12 hours to report his daughter's disappearance, saying that his daughter rarely came out of her room because she was brooding due to puberty, which, I can't speak from experience from, but I am sure that is a thing. The police conducted an investigation and interviewed both Adam and Elisa Baker in relation to Zara's disappearance and searched their residence with cadaver dogs.
Kidnap at this point, right? She's potentially been kidnapped.
Instead of the boss's kid.
Accidentally, instead of the boss's daughter. That's what they've said to the police.
Well, that's Adam's...
That's what Adam said to the police.
Guess
That's their
Adam's
fear.
read.
But it's a disappearance because there's nothing
She's just
confirmed.
missing. Right. Yeah.
But it could be that she's been kidnapped. So the cadaver dogs give positive alerts indicating human remains on both of the Bakers' cars, and police take swabs of potential bloodstains.
Ugh.
That same day, Elisa Baker is arrested for a number of crimes not related to Zara's disappearance, including communicating threats, writing bad checks, larceny, and driving with a revoked licence.
Now, I've got to say, writing bad checks seems to be a gateway crime.
I reckon it is. You're right.
It pops up a lot.
It's come up a lot as, the
Slippery
low-level shit, and then suddenly someone's dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Kaboom.
Yeah. Baker, who was jailed, was next charged with obstruction of justice after admitting she wrote the ransom note which led the police astray.
Why would she have done that?
Quality human. Police also state that they haven't...
She's involved in the disappearance.
Yes, but why would she have admitted it? Sorry.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Well, it does say...
She didn't have to.
Oh, yeah, no, correct.
Oh, yeah, don't worry, I did that.
Self-incriminating.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, sorry about that, I did that.
Oh, when I was writing some false checks, I also wrote a ransom note. So I was...
Yeah. Oops. A false ransom note. Writing bad ransom notes maybe is another...
It's another charge, yeah.
Yeah. So police also state that they haven't been able to confirm where Zara has been in the last month. By October the 12th, police were certain that 10-year-old Zarah Baker was dead. The Hickory police chief made a statement saying that the Amber Alert that had been in place was now cancelled and that the investigation was a homicide. Over the next few days, police search in vain for any clues to where Zara might be, draining ponds, searching in landfill, and canvassing large wooded areas with cadaver dogs. On the 25th of October, Adam Baker is also arrested, again on charges that are not related to his daughter's disappearance.
Do you know what they were?
It could be... I feel like a good crime would be marrying someone for their seventh time.
Marrying someone thinking they were their avatar.
Correct.
Yeah, correct.
Also,
Been there before.
Yeah. So
Have you, Swanee?
No, not me, but there was a crime that we once did where the people were all pretending to be different people online.
Oh, and
that
Janine? There was the one with Janine.
No, not that one. Not that
the
one.
young kids at
No, the guy, the sniper.
No.
Hot
Yes,
blonde.
hot
Tall,
sniper.
blonde and the
Yes.
sniper. Yeah.
Yes.
That one. That's one of the
Marine sniper.
Everyone
That's it.
pretending to be someone they're not. Yeah.
Yes,
Correct.
yes. Good call. So Elisa Baker's aunt, Buzzy Winkler,
Great name.
I feel like she's the Fonz.
I know. Fuzzy
Yeah.
Winker,
Yeah.
I like it. So she's Elisa's aunt.
Yeah, she told reporters that Elisa told her Zara died after being sick for 2 weeks. And strap yourselves in, because when your 10-year-old daughter dies after being sick for 2 weeks, you would probably do something different to this. But according to Elisa, both parents dismembered her and hid the remains.
Oh, my God.
What? Like,
why not just call 911?
Says no one ever. Buzzy said she'd been sick 2 weeks before she died. When they found her, I guess they didn't know what to do. They just went wild. However...
No one does that.
Did Buzzy think that was a strange thing to do? Did Buzzy think she was telling anything out of school perhaps by mentioning that Elisa had said that to her?
I don't know.
Or was Buzzy thinking that's what we do in our family? Oh, yeah, and then she died after 2 weeks.
It's a tradition. It's a tradition.
I feel
just
like
how we do it.
I feel like they sat down in
called.
Fonzie's office, which was the toilets, and had maybe a couple of whiskies and discussed the scenario. And when Elisa said, when they found her, they didn't know what to do, so we just went wild. Buzzy went, right, well, that's got to stay in the cone of silence.
Yeah.
I'd say call the cleaner, but I am the cleaner.
That's right.
Let me get my hydrochloric acid and my buzzsaw.
Yeah, exactly. So, however...
I'm going to feel sick.
It is a little bit of a question. I mean, we've all had, you guys haven't, but you've all been around who have been sick for 2 weeks. My kids have been sick for 2 weeks. I mean, a little bit more colour and detail around the level of illness before that. It's like she was sick for 2 weeks and then we cut her up into pieces. Like, it's a big ask.
But also, to be fair, she was sick before 2 weeks before she died, so she was already dead. I haven't been around a lot of dead people, but never once have I thought the best thing to do would be to dismember them.
No. It's not
after they've died.
I just feel like
more
that
for
wouldn't
you,
enter.
Clarky.
Well,
but in the future, you will suggest it if you happen to be around, you're one of the elderly people in your family, and you can just pop out with should we...
We
is
could
it
get
right time
someone
to bring up
who's
the
more
dismembering?
experienced in this.
Is it the right time to bring up the dismembering?
Exactly.
I'm sure that'll go down well. Excuse me.
And most importantly, do you have an incinerator?
Yeah. Oh, God.
So, contrary to Buzzy's testimony, Elisa reportedly said Adam dismembered Zarah alone after she died, and they both hid her remains. Elisa also told police that Zarah died on the 24th of September, yet she was not reported missing until the 9th of October.
Ugh.
So sick for 2 weeks, dies, gets dismembered, and then gets reported missing on the 9th of October, according to Elisa.
May I just ask a question? The reporting of the missing, is that when the fire and they came? Does that coincide with that? Or does that come out later? On the
9th of October was when the 911 call was made.
Okay,
and that was,
so that was when they said, by the way, we think our daughter's been potentially kidnapped accidentally. Here's the ransom note. Yeah, okay, so that was that date. Got it.
Correct.
Didn't Adam report her missing, not Elisa?
Correct.
Yes. So Elisa rang up about some bullshit fire nonsense.
Yeah.
Correct.
But why did she do that?
But so Elisa said that Zarah died on the 24th of September. She didn't say that she then reported her missing on the 9th. What they're saying is that Elisa said she died on the 24th.
Yeah.
But she was reported missing on the 9th. So
okay.
So this is a bit random, but just go along with it. Allegedly, crime memorabilia dealer and owner of Serial Killers Inc., Eric Gain. Didn't we have somebody
Caroline
else with the
Schmidt.
Gain? Yeah. Also known as Caroline Schmidt, yes. Used an assumed name to write to Elisa in jail. Maybe this is where you get your information from.
No, it's not. It's the internet is where I get it from.
Yeah, righto. She twice wrote back to him sharing some information. According to a letter written to Eric Gain, Elisa admitted, "We really didn't kill her, but what he did after the fact is kind of horrifying. It makes me scared of him." Reportedly, Elisa told her attorney, Lisa Dubbs, that Zara's prosthetic leg was left in a dumpster that she and Adam had disposed of at Foxridge Apartments in Hickory. Dubbs informed police of the possible evidence, which is interesting because there's clearly no lawyer-client privilege there.
No.
People from Wagga Wagga don't do this, do they?
No, we're in Hickory now.
We're in
but he was
USA.
from Wagga originally, remember?
Yeah, but then they went over to...
Oh, sorry, you're saying people from Wagga?
People from Wagga Wagga. It's a stretch. How did he get himself into this
silliness? I don't know. Someone from Horsham exercised someone to death in a previous... So let us not suggest that people in our country don't do weird shit. Anyway.
Precisely, I take that back.
Correct. So on the 23rd of October 2010, Elisa Baker's lawyer contacted the district attorney's office and indicated her client had information that would solve the mystery of the disappearance of Zarah Baker. There were, however, conditions to her cooperation.
Of course there were. Mm-hmm.
First, in exchange for ending the search for Zarah Baker and ending the mystery that surrounded her death, the prosecution of Eliza Baker would be limited to second-degree murder so long as her statement to law enforcement was truthful. Secondly, in the event that it was determined that Elisa Baker was not truthful, she could be prosecuted for first-degree murder, but her statements and evidence would be excluded. In other words, Elisa Baker's statements would be admissible only in a prosecution of second-degree murder or less.
If someone says, I'll tell
Jesus.
you what's going on
I'll do
as
you a
long as you
deal.
give me a lesser charge, you're
I'll tell you what
guilty.
is.
You're fucking
Yeah.
guilty. That's it. Of the greater charge.
What if, to go back to last week's story, what if it's unlikely that you would be around people like that, therefore you presume that they're not guilty?
Well, we didn't believe that then. We don't believe that now.
It's a good point you make. So after consulting with local law enforcement about the probability of finding Zarah's remains, the prosecutor's office agreed to the terms. Elisa Baker's statements led authorities to several locations in search of Zarah's remains. A prosthetic leg was found in late October off a road in Caldwell County, a few miles from a former residence of Elisa's. The Hickory Police Department were able to match the serial number of the prosthetic leg from Zarah's medical records they obtained from Australia in order to confirm that it was definitely Zarah's leg.
That's lucky because I imagine they probably find lots of limbs just on the side of the road.
Yeah, correct.
You never know what you're going to find out there.
It's excellent the way they put information on prosthetic legs like they do on SodaStream bottles.
Yes.
What I'm impressed with is that the police actually read the information on the leg and worked it out.
And it's funny that they've said it's Zarah's leg. Definitely Zarah's leg. It's not. It's a prosthetic limb.
It was a prosthetic limb, but it's got a serial number.
I think it's an important distinction you're making. But,
but her leg was amputated when she was a child.
Years ago,
yeah.
right? So it's not her leg at all.
It's not her leg. It's her prosthetic limb, yeah.
Correct, yes. Although they did refer to it to match the serial number of the prosthetic leg.
Yeah.
And so therefore it was Zarah's leg.
Yeah,
excluding
but like
prosthetic.
I don't know because I never asked anyone, but I'm pretty sure my new hips...
I beg your pardon? Says you never. You normally just know.
No, I just mean I didn't ask for the serial number of my new prosthesis that's in my hip, but I'm sure there's a serial number on there somewhere. So that when you two, get overzealous and knock me off, remember, when you dismember me, get rid of my prosthetic hip.
When you get sick for 2 weeks and die, and we've got no other option but to dismember
I'll take
you.
that hip
that's all
into
you can do. That's right.
What else would we do?
I'll take that hip into the garage and get the gas axe on it.
It is tough when we're like, I don't know, day 12, and it's like, God, she's been sick for 12 days. She's got a cough, she's got a cold. No, I feel like we're headed, where we're headed, and Schmitty's going,
my Lord.
I know, I'm like 2 days off being dismembered.
I'm starting to get really stressed.
I get a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
Trying to keep your cough down. Oh no, it wasn't a cough. I'm fine.
Give me some vitamin C.
I feel fabulous. No side effects.
Put the Beyonce on right now.
Me singing not
And I say to Swanee, hey, can you come and help me with this? And we walk out and go, did you bring your angle grinder?
I'm worried, Clarky. 10 days, 12 days. It's like, I don't know if she's going to get through. I think 2 weeks and we're like, we're on the tools. We're on the tools.
We're on the tools, exactly.
In the not too distant, not too far distance, I hear Stewie on the oxyacetylene just firing her up. I'm like, oh, fuck, this isn't good.
Where's me welding hat? Come on.
That's him getting rid of he's going to burn down my titanium.
We don't want to do it. It's just the thing that's done.
It's just what you do. That's right,
exactly.
That's right.
It's a huge inconvenience for us, love. It's not like I want to have to go and do it. It's hard work.
Literally nothing else that you can do.
It feels like a sketch with Lynn and Carmel. Magda Zabatsky and Jane
No one's
Turner.
sorrier than I.
I'm the one who's got it.
It's the Joneses I feel sorry for.
Yeah.
No cheese.
I'm glad you appreciate my issue. When I spoke, I can't remember in the last episode, I think about my 100-year-old friend. If he died on the houseboat, I'd have no choice but to dismember him. I wouldn't call. What happened to him?
I hope he doesn't listen to this.
Just protocol.
I'd have to go wild and dismember him. I mean, there's nothing else to be done.
I cannot be expected to run a taxi driver service every time Ken decides to loll in and out of hospital with terminal cancer.
And this goes back to earlier in this episode when Clarky talked about the Australian sense of humour. So
Yes,
we are actually quoting actual comedians, not us, who are, we think, quite funny. Other people might not.
Funny.
And it just goes to show why we all laugh at this shit. So what happened next, Clarky?
We digress.
Well, I'm glad you asked. So in November 2010, Elisa Baker started leading police to different areas in Catawba County and Caldwell County to find Zarah's scattered remains. That's a lot of effort, isn't it? Like the dismembering is horrific and unnecessary, but then I'm going
to do. It's
scatter
What do you
them.
do? Drive down the car and then throw like? I mean, how do you scatter it?
Throw a leg out here, throw a head out there.
Oh,
It's
goodness.
just awful.
Numerous bones of Zarah were found, but Zarah's head was not found until some years later.
Oh, God.
Allegedly, Elisa had told police she threw Zarah's mattress in a dumpster, and police confirmed the mattress fitting the description was found in a landfill. Elisa Baker also led the police to another dumpster behind a grocery store in Hudson, where she and Adam dumped a car cover and bed cover, which was used to hide and transport Zarah. Elisa also told police they would find Zarah's body parts in the drain trap of the bathtub, and the plastic gloves she used would be found in her bathroom.
Oh.
Oh my God.
Sorry. You
As
find
I
body
live
parts
and breathe.
in the drain trap.
Yep.
Oh, God.
That's probably like the S-bend to us.
Yeah, but what? Oh.
I've got an admission to make at this point. Sometimes our drains get a little blocked in our bathroom because this will make you all gag, because I've got a
Put
lot
body
of
parts
hair.
in them.
I've got long, like...
You got a lot
Oh,
of
you're one of
hair.
them.
I live with
And
people
in-
like that.
If I'll put some Drano in, and I get
And the
great
rat
satisfaction
comes
with
out?
the smoke, and like you put little...
Drano in and it's
You put the Drano, like this mist
like a
comes
chemical
up.
experiment.
experiment,
because
yeah.
it burns it all out.
No.
Yeah.
I put that down and it doesn't
Which
work.
brand do you use?
Oh,
Anything.
Drano.
The Ridgeway.
Is that an ad for
We
Drano?
tried to do that at my mum's house and it didn't fucking work. We had to get a plumber.
My sister
Oh, gosh.
and
Oh, no,
her
I do it quite a
three daughters have got hair,
Yes.
probably like yours actually, Carla.
Yeah.
Very thick, very strong.
Yeah.
My hair, on the other hand, as you both know, is very thin, very fine, and I've only got about 3 hairs on my head that I have to comb very carefully to make me look
Such
like
an unpleasant image. It's so not true,
It's
but
so-
very funny.
I don't have many hairs. I have to protect them at all
Yeah,
costs.
well played.
All three.
Carefully position
Huey,
them.
Dewey, and Louie.
I have to very carefully position them because my hair is so fine. And these girls, like, apart from the drain, right? So
Yes.
Kate goes, the drain's blocked, and I put some shit down. You go
Yeah.
out to the gully trap, and a giant rat. It's not actually
Oh,
a rat.
my
It's a
God.
rat-sized clog of hair
Really?
comes out, and hair, and the.
Yeah. Fats from your body and stuff.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I was trying
It's
to
that,
go
yeah.
for grease.
Oils
and I
and
thought
stuff.
that's
Yeah,
revolting.
It is. That's
Oils,
So
yeah.
soapy,
Yeah.
when you put
Yeah.
soap and body
Correct.
skin and all that stuff together,
all the
Epithelials.
lotions and all the lotions and potions.
all
Epithelials.
comes out, and it comes out this
Heinous.
massive clump. It is heinous. Props to you people who have more than 3 hairs on their head that aren't so fine that you can see through them, but well done.
We bought the first place we bought was a 1-bedroom flat in Flemington. When we first moved in, the kitchen sink used to block. And so Stuart got set trying to unblock it, and he pulled out like hairs and oily
The
bits
thing
and
I call
pieces.
the rat, yeah.
Rat, yeah.
Chopsticks.
Chopsticks.
What?
The stuff that was in this drain, and of course then everything's just caught to all of that
Yeah.
spider's web and just started
Then I just loaded it up with Domestos, filled it right up, left it there for a day and just flushed it all out.
It's one of my hobbies. I love it. I like to do that. Not with that, but in the
Oh, you're gross. I can
we've
see
got
it.
2
One of your
sinks, and I
hobbies.
like it in mine. But the thing is, I do it too often now because I think, I love that the smoke that comes off it. And now it's not smoking because I've got them too clean. I'm thinking, I'll just give it a go. I'll just give it a go. And now I'm disappointed. I'm waiting for the big.
too soon.
They're too clean. I've got to build it up.
It's a vapor. I wouldn't be breathing that in.
Oh no, I'm not. I just like that. I can hear it, and I'm like, here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes.
It's a chemical haze.
I love it. I love it.
friend of mine in the UK, her next door neighbours, they had a plumber in at one point because all of their drains were blocked. Turns out it was a knocking shop and it was full of condoms. And so the plumber because they were flushing condoms down the toilet.
Matron.
Yeah. No,
a knocking shop.
Yeah, that's what she told me.
Isn't it just a knock shop?
That's
just
a knocking
one.
shop.
I haven't heard
Singular.
that for a long time. Is that an English or an Australian saying?
English, yeah.
English.
It was a knocking shop. Although, all right, me lover, it was a knocking shop. I got a lovely combine harvester, diddly-dee.
Since no cause of death could be determined, Zarah's death was ruled an undetermined violent homicide, which I think is actually a good description.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Where's Adam?
Correct. Allegedly, Elisa told the police that both she and Adam Baker disposed of Zarah's remains. But according to cell phone towers, Elisa was in the area where Zarah's remains were found, but Adam was not. Investigators believe that Elisa Baker killed and dismembered Zarah on the 24th of September 2010 and disposed of her remains the following day. Elisa Baker was indicted by a grand jury for second-degree murder with aggravating circumstances on the 22nd of February 2011 in Catawba County. 5 aggravating circumstances were cited as, and they are very aggravating, so brace yourselves. Elisa Baker had a history of physical, verbal, and psychological abuse of the child, also her own children. She secreted the child from her family before and after the crime. She desecrated Zarah's body to hinder the murder investigation and prosecution. Zarah was young and physically infirm / handicapped, and Elisa Baker took advantage of a position of trust. Elisa would have had a first-degree murder charge if she had not led law enforcement to Zarah's remains. Adam has denied any involvement in Zarah's death, and the police have not found any credible evidence to suggest that he had any involvement in her death or to charge him with murder. Elisa Baker was indicted for second-degree murder. The indictment handed up by a grand jury in Catawba County asserted that Elisa had a history and pattern of physical, verbal, and psychological abuse of the victim and that she had desecrated the victim's body to hinder detection. She was sentenced to 18 years in jail.
18 years.
Yep.
That's it.
Well, no, that's not it, because
Bum, bum, bum.
one of my sources, as you may recall, was 60 Minutes.
Yes.
And I would like to
60 Minutes Australia or 60 Minutes America?
60 Minutes Australia. And I'd like to share with you something from the 60 Minutes interview with legendary Australian journalist Liz Hayes.
Yeah, good on you, Liz.
Liz. Love Liz.
So in 2012, Liz Hayes went to North Carolina to conduct the first ever public interview with Elisa Baker. Baker never had to face questions in a courtroom because of the plea bargain she made. So she's never been interviewed on this topic. In the 60 Minutes segment, a grey-haired Elisa is led into a small room where Hayes is waiting. Throughout the interview, Hayes asks Elisa about the events leading up to Zarah's death, her relationship with Zarah, and whether she feels any remorse for her actions. On her relationship with Zarah, there's this. Liz Hayes, did you have a close bond? Elisa, very close. She called me mum, and I treated her like she was my own child.
Badly.
I abused her like I abused my other children.
Badly, yeah.
She got no different treatment from my other kids. Actually, my other kids got jealous of her. Liz Hayes. Classic Liz Hayes. Really? Elisa, they said I treated her better. Liz Hayes. What kind of person dismembers a disabled child? Elisa. A sick person. Liz Hayes. Does it take an evil person? Elisa. Yes. Good chat.
Did Liz Hayes say that?
That wasn't Liz Hayes. That was me adding
Good
that.
chat.
At some points, Elisa has tears in her eyes. At others, she chuckles. She talks of the bond she had with Zarah's dad, a man she called her Prince Charming, and the remorse she feels at how their lives have ended up. Liz Hayes, on the day Zarah died, September 24th, 2010, Elisa Baker claims she left her stepdaughter alone in their Hickory home to go shopping, returning in the afternoon. Elisa, By this time, it was like 3 o'clock, 3 p.m., somewhere around there. And she was laying on her bed, and I said, Zara, are you okay? And I walked over to her bed and I said, Zara, and she still didn't move. So I put my hand on her and I could tell she wasn't breathing. And my first thought was CPR. And so I immediately started CPR. I worked on her for probably about 30 minutes and couldn't get her back, begging the whole time for God not to take her. You know, right then I should have called 911, but I got scared.
I just fired up the chainsaw instead.
But again, classic Liz Hayes. Of what?
Yeah.
Elisa, I didn't know what to do. I've never been faced with anything like that. Liz Hayes, if you'd done CPR, you'd dial 911, wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Elisa, most people would have, yes. Good interview.
But I went straight for the... Oh, stop. I know I started it, but still.
Too much?
Jeepers, creepers.
Elisa Baker maintains that it was her husband, Adam Baker, who is now living back in Australia, who dismembered Zara's body. She says she stood by him and didn't say anything to police in an effort to protect the man she loved. But that's a claim Adam staunchly denies. There's no way I could do that to my child. For her to sit there and say I dismembered my child, there's no way on earth I could do that. He told me.
Look, I sat there for several years and let her abuse her. That's different.
Yeah,
as a stepmother who was clearly awful and was, had been publicly identified as being abusive, that I can work with. But, I've got to draw a line somewhere, right?
I've got standards, yeah.
Yeah, I've got, my moral compass. It's come into effect now. Only because I didn't want to have to get on the... He's like, what am I supposed to do? I was like, maybe I'll go get the lawnmower. I mean,
Elisa Baker maintains she wasn't responsible for the death of her stepdaughter, but she says the evidence is against her. And that's why she never fought to prove her own innocence.
Because she's not.
Says no one ever. Like, what? I'll tell you what, I'll make a plea deal to lead you to where the body parts are because I'm innocent.
It's pretty clear that I did it. I'm not going to get off. I'm not going to get off, so yeah.
The evidence that Elisa speaks of shows that on the day Zara's body was discarded, Elisa made a series of phone calls to Adam Baker. Evidence shows those calls were made from the area where Zara's body was found and that Adam received the calls from more than 33 kilometres away.
Right.
Evidence suggests that Zarah Baker was being abused before she was murdered. At one point, she had turned up to school with a black eye, as we said, and that staff at the school had reached out to help her. And the evidence is starkly apparent on a piece of paper Elisa Baker signed as part of the plea bargain in which she admitted to a history of physical and psychological abuse of Zara. Back to old mate Liz. Liz Hayes concludes the interview by asking Elisa whether she feels any remorse. Elisa, I wish things would have been different.
Oh, darling, don't we all?
Liz, and again, classic Liz, well, you have a long time to consider it.
Bum, bum, bum.
Elisa, yes, ma'am, I do. Elisa Baker won't be released from prison until she's at least 70 years old.
It's all right. She'll come out fighting and she'll probably get married again. And
Come out at 60.
It's
disgusting.
Find God or have a literary career or something.
So we don't know what really happened.
No.
And
it's
where's
all...
Adam?
Adam's back in Australia.
Adam's the dumbest man
Let's
in
call
the
him.
world.
Adam, what the...
Adam? What
the F
Talk me through it. Talk me through it, Toots.
So there's a couple of... So I think, potentially you're victim shaming because he could be very much a victim in this.
He's an idiot, though.
The bit that I don't understand is if on the 24th of September Zara died, why did Adam report her missing on the...
He might not have known she was
9th or 10th of
gone
October.
for 2 weeks or something, yeah.
Really,
Who knows? By the way, earlier there was much discussion about the age difference. He was 33, she was 40. Just clearing that up for you. So she had 6 husbands at the age of 40. Fair dues, mate. I didn't even have 2 boyfriends at the age of 40.
I know, darling. Interventions. Everyone's got a boyfriend.
Had slept with 38 people, but then only had 2 boyfriends.
And remember, the people that she had children with, she wasn't even married to the people that she was
the same people
married to.
Yeah.
She didn't have. She had children out of wedlock as well.
One
so
was a
she does more.
boyfriend, yeah.
Exactly.
Jesus creeper, she was
She's
busy.
so busy.
And I don't know if you've looked at any photos. I know you looked earlier at her rode hard, put away wet photos, but there's photos of her when she was a bit younger, when she was 300 pounds.
What?
No, I'm not fat shaming, but
but I'm fat shaming.
But given she's a heinous murderer, I'm going to fat shame. She was Tubby McTubby.
Where do I look at? Where do I look?
She's a fat killer.
On fatshamersrus.com.
Look
that's
up
one of the wedding
NBC
dress, I
News. NBC News. Here we go. I've got a photo.
Hang on.
Can you share it with us?
Mr. Palmer
Has she got like her arm in a cast or something?
No, I think she's
The
just
class
wearing
act? What's that mean?
incredible satin dress.
Whoa! No, that's not what I'm looking at.
Lord.
Yeah, she's a
Fuck, is that the 2 of them?
chubba wubba. No, that is Daryl Putnam, a previous husband.
Oh, my God.
wow.
He's an Oompa Loompa. Oh,
Well, she's an no, she's not. She's not short. She's just fat.
I am surprised that
are they sitting on the floor?
I'm surprised that she had 7 husbands.
Yeah, she had issues.
I don't know. Can you see this photo? I don't know how you're going to find it. It might even be the Adam.
Yeah.
Is that look like the they got
That's a
married?
little house in Texas wedding. Yeah.
Hang on.
This little
Zara
Texas
Baker
Texas
at the wedding.
Texas
July
has a
6,
horror house in it.
2008.
Texas.
God.
Oh, what a movie that was.
Yep.
That is so clever. What she's done is she's squeezed her arm into like a. You should have a look at these, Schmitty. Look at those smart little gloves.
We can't see it.
Look at it. Now you've got to look at it.
For our listeners, Tony and I are getting married next year, and she's giving me tips. I've seen that wedding dress, by the way. That's available for about $250 from China.
It looks a bit Christmassy with the little girl in red and
I said to my sister,
can you see what she's done with the arm? That's
Yes.
Cast?
It looks like a cast.
it's got the red up here, but in the
At Tensarus.
in the slit of the dress, there is a giant piece of crimson shit. And I said to my sister, you know what I say? A bride in red is better off dead, unless she's Chinese, and then it's culturally appropriate.
Oh.
And that dress is not appropriate to anyone. Sorry, that's what she's wearing.
She'd lost a bit of weight when she'd first met Adam. Adam Baker reportedly met Elisa online, and that was where I read somewhere that she was called Gothic Fairy. There's definitely a hardness.
Schmitty, look at this. Put a cast on your arm, and then you'll look slimmer. How rude.
Yeah. What a mole.
That's what I heard.
You're out of the bridal party right there.
I'm not covered unless I can wear those things, those little... And they look like they're spats. Do you know what spats are? I used to wear them.
Yeah.
You'd wear them over a shoe to make it look like a boot. That upper arm. It's like it's supposed to go over a piggy knuckle toes.
Swanee, can we both wear them? We'll wear them on the day, yeah.
Not on her ham hock anyway.
Anyway, right, sentencing. 18 years is bullshit.
Jesus.
I think the 18 years is because they don't know how she died. So what if she was sick and she died that way?
I don't
It's
care.
18 years for dismemberment. No, I'm with you, but I guess...
It doesn't make sense.
But has Adam come out and said that she was sick?
No.
Elisa?
No,
It's
so there's
hard
no...
without-
He's the dumbest man in the universe.
So should not he be locked up as well? If he's...
There's no evidence.
He's
He's
just
upset
dumb.
me greatly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Another one of those. Poor little girl. Oh my God, what a shit life.
I know. To have cancer. Oh, by the way, earlier Clarky made some statements. It turns out the chemotherapy is what caused her to be deaf.
I feel like I did say that
Oh, I
maybe it
didn't
was
hear
the
that.
chemo.
Oh my God, I didn't quite understand that when you were banging on about it. I missed that whole thing. And I thought, why is he talking about someone being deaf? So there you go. Tony, we're in it together, darling.
Would you say something like she's not listening? I don't know.
Has
Yeah,
anyone-
I wasn't listening.
Has anyone
I thought,
checked to see
what?
if there's any water in the wine cellar?
No, it's weird. Anyway,
So bless her. She was she totally deaf?
I don't know.
I don't know, but she wore hearing aids, so...
Because the
what?
chemotherapy had caused damage to her hearing. So the poor kid was terribly ill, and yet apparently was, to all intents, very upbeat and bright child.
She looks like it in all the photos.
Yeah, doesn't
she?
she?
Looks happy.
Doesn't she? Yeah.
Yeah. So from a sentencing perspective, I'm comfortable sending Zarah to the good place. You know, we've talked about in Trial by One World where people don't get the rough deal that they got in real life. And I know it's no consolation.
The happy place, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to go and have
sweetheart,
good parents and, you know, not cancer-free. And look, it's not necessarily about having a hearing or having, you know, her
just being looked
leg
after,
back, just being allowed to get on with your life and enjoy stuff and all the
fun rides.
Yeah, but also everything we take for granted, you know, just waking to a nice sunny day or a rainy day, all the things that poor child was robbed of. And I don't believe that she just suddenly got sick and died. I just don't believe it. That woman murdered that child, in my opinion. I don't know why she did, apart from she was a nasty narcissistic
Maybe she just overdid the violent abuse.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe that's it. That's why she dismembered her, I reckon.
Death.
And that's why she had to get rid of the body and muck it up so much because to cover what she'd been doing.
It's just awful. In The Good Place, we go back to before Elisa even got into her life. You know, she never experiences any of that. She just goes on and has a lovely time. So that's Zarah sent to...
avoids all that.
Yeah, none of that shit.
Nice.
As for rode hard, put away wet bitch face Elisa.
Fuck, I'm waiting for this. Go the hack, please.
I don't want to steal your thunder colour. I'm very concerned about the.
I've got no thunder. You go for it.
Well, I think
I haven't got one yet.
What motivated this woman to have seven husbands? What motivated her to go to Australia? I believe that she was probably a big fat bullshit artist prior to going to Australia. You know, you know what I mean? Like 6 husbands, right? And it's just like, I
think I'm a bit of a big fat bullshit artist at times.
Wow.
Yeah, but I'm going to create an avatar.
But you don't have a cast on your arm.
I'm going to create an avatar and I'm going to go at Queensland. I'm going to marry this guy and everything's going to be great. And I'm like, there is something so fake about this woman's life. So I think that she probably just actually has to be sentenced to a very real world. She needs to be placed somewhere where she's doing hard labour. I'm okay with that. And there is no opportunity for her to imagine herself out of it. Yep. You know, so she can't invent a new world for her. She's stuck all the time in this reality. And it's hard labour and, you know, it's probably better for her waistline, let's put it that way. But also she's not allowed to have any access to any men. There's no avatars. There's nothing like that. And no children around her whatsoever. She's not to have any access to anyone that she can hurt. She's just got to work and work and work. And that's it. Because she didn't work. I think the problem is that she just used people up, including Zarah. You know, she just used people.
I'm going to go for Adam.
Ooh.
That's a go for it, darling.
Because I don't think that I can come up with anything for Elisa that sort of Schmitty hasn't probably touched on.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah.
Elisa's nice, thick, curly hair in the drain.
Nice, thick, curly hair.
With her head and the Drano and the that Swanee described earlier. Just Drano on her head, burning her hair off.
Yeah, burning her hair off.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Biatch. Yep.
Sorry, Swanee.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That's all right. No, I think that time and time again we come into this situation where it would have only taken one person to make a few decent calls or do the right thing to avoid these horrendous outcomes. And as much as I think Elisa is a murderous
wench
cow, there were red flags all along. And Adam has chosen to ignore them initially. So a woman who's been married 7 times, there's something in that doesn't necessarily mean that she's a bad person, to be honest, but there's something in that. A person whose own children have nothing to do with her.
Tony and I are getting married next year. And
it's only his 8th, though.
No, well, exactly the point, right? So I ordered a wedding band and I said to him jokingly, I'm going to have it engraved especially for you. It's going to say 3rd time's a charm. And he never said a word. And I thought, I think I just offended him. Nah, Not
You got the numbers wrong, darling.
listening.
It wasn't listening. Yeah.
I said it again
Yeah,
and he
right.
thought it was really funny. I was like, oh, anyway, sorry, Swanee. Go on.
So he's missed all the red flags. And again, it's not a crime to have been married that many times, you know, do whatever else. But when you look at her and him and, you know, the fact that she came to Australia, I find that quite amazing because that was an expensive exercise. For someone who can find the next husband pretty easily by the looks of it, she could have got someone locally, right?
Oh,
So
she
she's
might have
done that
burnt
thing
out.
online.
She might have burnt out her
She might have had a
environment.
rep.
Yeah, exactly.
So
A suburb.
she's maybe, and so she's had to look further afield. And of course, if it's all been based on avatars and stuff online, then it could have been somebody from anywhere. But a man with a daughter who has clearly got health issues and had disabilities and has not had a nice run, surely someone like Elisa could have thought, oh, I might give that a miss.
It's not worth my
No.
effort.
Yeah.
Quite the opposite. She's gone, well, you know what?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's easy.
I can get in there and be something to someone at some point,
It's
and
not
then
even
I'll
like
be
he was rich.
a bit of power, right?
You know, like it's not even
No.
a money thing.
I know,
It's just
right? It's not a
There's
money-provoking
no
thing.
clear motivation as to why she behaved like this.
I'm not particularly interested in him after the fact, say, you know, I would never dismember my child. Well, you know what? It's not something that I've ever thought about my kids either. But I tell you what, if I was to be in a situation, whether my husband or I, one of us, you know, was to demise, whatever else, or divorce, whatever it happened to be, and other people were around my children.
You have such a toy chainsaw, Schmitty. Such a toy chainsaw.
Oh, wedding gift.
You're right. It's a cordless Ryobi. It is a toy
cordless,
chainsaw. Yeah.
I just think that, you know, and actually I'm from a family where my parents were remarried. Your parents still have to look after you first and foremost and stand up for you. There are
100%.
situations, even the very best of families, when there's conflict. That's what happens.
100%. Yep.
But you know, and there were times when, you know, I was doing the right thing or the wrong things, and it would go either way with, you know, my stepmother, and, you know, and that's how it'd go. But this idea that, you know, somehow this just sort of kind of happened, I don't believe that. I think there was a level of abuse, and I think that Adam chose to just ignore it until it was too late. And I don't know why he would do that, except he was just a shit
Weak.
dad.
Just a weak
man.
person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Weak.
And it disappoints me so much. And I don't even know how to sentence someone like that. I mean, I don't know what motivates him. Do you know what I mean? Is it sex? I don't know what it is with someone like that. I don't know what it is. I don't know.
So can I give you a bit of insight from a story from the Advertiser? The headline is Police, Dad Too Dumb to Kill Zarah. Oh my God, she's got the chainsaw out.
Oh, my Lord. Bring it on.
Oh, hang on, we need to take a snippet of that.
that.
I didn't do anything, actually. Tony went out and got it because he thought it'd be funny.
Schmitty
Might
chainsaw.
better get that as a present. Sure,
Okay.
got it.
Yeah, nice.
Sorry. The Advertiser, yes.
Yeah,
Where were we?
he's a wholesale idiot with a low IQ and the self-confessed worst dad in the world, but no murderer. That is the view of North Carolina police and prosecutors of Adam Baker, the Australian father of 10-year-old cancer sufferer Zarah, who was allegedly murdered and dismembered by her stepmother, Elisa Baker, last year. A senior source said Adam Baker would almost certainly never be charged in association with his daughter's death, and revealed why authorities believe he had no knowledge of her murder. Mr. Baker's behaviour at the time was so baffling it appeared possible he could be charged as an accessory to his daughter's death. Mr. Baker reported Zarah missing from their home in Hickory, North Carolina on October the 9th last year. On the same day, Miss Baker allegedly wrote the false ransom note saying Zarah had been kidnapped. It emerged that Zarah had been missing from her home for 15 days before Mr. Baker noticed.
Like, it's
fuck,
she's
gone.
Puberty blues.
It's neglect.
As
Like,
if-
even if he's not a
Totally.
murderer, he neglected
It's
his
revolting.
child.
He's
Dumb as
revolting.
dog shit.
So,
Revolting. That's revolting.
continue with the article. How was that possible? You're talking about a wholesale idiot, said a North Carolina source of Adam Baker. Authorities are convinced that Mr. Baker is so gullible and stupid that he was completely fooled by Miss Baker. Authorities have not charged Mr. Baker over this matter because they do not believe he was aware she was running an illegal drug distribution business under his nose.
Whoops.
What?
Authorities believe Mr. Baker had no knowledge of the drug dealership. This goes to what
Mr.
I have
Baker.
always believed about him, that he is almost pathologically numnutted, the source said.
Numnutted.
I don't know.
I didn't know the expression expression pathologically numnutted, but I'm going to use it from here on out.
Yeah, numbnuts.
They're doing a screaming argument. You're pathologically numbnutted. I can't deal with this.
Oh, come on.
It sounded like when Elf, you're cotton-headed ninny mugs.
Yeah, that's a nice, sweet way of saying you're a pathological numbnut.
Or to quote, what was that show?
Lost in Space.
Lost in Space. You bubble-headed booby. So, anyway, authorities believe Miss Baker convinced her husband Zarah did not want to see him for 15 days and that he genuinely believed Zarah was going through some preteen stage. The only thing that impressed authorities about Mr. Baker is his guilelessness.
He just looks a bit like, I don't know nothing.
I don't know.
I don't know nothing about birthing babies. His guilelessness. He has no guile.
Oh, gone with the wind.
Piss off. I'm not buying it. Anyway.
He's repulsive.
Okay.
It's just, okay, he could be the dumbest man in Christendom, but I still don't think it's appropriate to have a child that sick and with so much stacked against her and then introduce this horrendous stepmother who is abusive. Claims have been made against her from the school, and you allow her to remove her from the school. You allow this. Oh, piss off. I'm with you, Carla. Come on.
And that
what are we
I do
doing
have an
to
issue
him?
with the timeline at the end, because the timeline, if he hadn't checked on her, was it 2 weeks?
It's neglect if nothing else.
Yeah, that's just unbelievable. A day or two if she'd been hiding in a room because she was a teenager.
I think I might have seen something that said that he worked a night shift, which would mean that...
Oh, that'll be it then.
I'm not having
that'll
it. I said boo-hoo. I'm not having it.
Okay, good chat.
Not good enough.
Right.
No.
So what are you sentencing him to, Swanee?
Something electric.
The loss of his daughter?
No, because I don't think it really matters. I don't.
Okay.
If you're dealing with someone who is so inept when it comes to dealing with anything on a practical level in terms of looking after, let alone her emotional needs, I really actually don't know.
Why do you think? What would his motive be?
His motive to kill her? I don't think he murdered her.
No, I don't either. I just don't think he
cared enough.
I just think
okay, sorry, gotcha.
He wanted to hire. Sorry, he married someone to take the responsibility. He married the worst possible person to take the responsibility of his daughter. He was quite happy to earn the money and do the work and whatever, but he seemed to abdicate himself from the responsibility of care for Zarah. So what are you going to do with him?
I don't know.
Sentence him to numbnuts land?
What does numbnuts land look like?
I don't know, but I just am fascinated by the fact that he was a pathological numbnuts.
I don't know what response I could elicit in him. Do you know what I mean? If we're dealing with someone who's really, it's just all this has just all happened and he wasn't really involved. He didn't know his wife was running a meth ring and he didn't realise that he was, it just, I don't know. How do you punish someone who's not aware? Everybody else, a lot of the easy crimes for us, the people who have huge egos, who are narcissists, they're the people that's like, that's easy. I know what we deal in reverse, but this I don't know. Make him hyper aware of everything? Yeah. Maybe.
Maybe he needs to be put in a kind of chamber and all this stuff is shown to him in video and someone has to go, smack, wake up, bang, here's the moment you should have done something.
Yeah.
Bang,
electric shock, as opposed to the opposite.
Electric shock treatment.
I was thinking smack face.
This is bad,
sure.
bang, that's how you should feel.
I'll give you another option, which I think is castration, because
oh my God.
I do think parenting is a responsibility. I think that just because you can, I know, right? Just because you can have children doesn't mean you should. And both of Zarah's parents have effectively opted out of parenthood. And that's tragic for Zarah, but I'm not okay with it.
Like, I cannot believe she died naturally. And the answer was dismember her and throw her body parts everywhere.
That's just nonsense.
Yeah. It's just
Stop treating us all like
idiots.
Pathological numbnuts.
Exactly. It's just not okay. So, and I think Adam is the harder pathological numbnut to crack, because if he really was just stupid or chose to ignore stuff. I know what you're saying, Swanee. It's disappointing, but I don't think he was evil. I think it was just disappointing. So there's got to be some way we can send him down.
I thought what you said before was perfect. I like the idea of making someone who really has no sort of sensitivity to anything, both.
Smacking him in the head constantly.
No, that this sort of this room of hyper reality where he feels and sees everything for what it is and the real reactions and the real consequences. So whether it's watching, at the time when she's being abused, it'll be terrible to watch. But he needs to watch his daughter being mistreated, abused, sick, all those things, time and time again. And where in the past perhaps he's chosen to turn a blind eye to certain things or just ignore it or not be aware of it, now he can't. Now it's in his face and it hurts, and he feels it like a normal person would.
Yep, I'm hearing you.
Any level of empathy.
I love the way that you interpreted what I said, because that's not what I said.
Was it not like that?
I didn't hear that at all. I was thinking I must have been listening.
I love it.
And I was really going to say, is the wine cellar flooding? Because I didn't hear any of that.
It's just like, I really like that. You're absolutely right, but I didn't say that. But I love it. Yeah.
Oh,
well.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, there's my
a magnificent interpretation.
All right.
There you
go. I would like to sentence Elisa to a new world, and it's dedicated to children who have been mistreated. So I'm thinking of Sylvia Likens, Gypsy Rose, and now Zarah Baker, where they are just treated horrendously. I think as a child you have an expectation that your parents are the ones you can trust, and rightly so. And here's an example again of where that's not happening. And so I want Elisa to be, from this day forth, treated in a similar way to Sylvia Likens, Gypsy Rose and Zarah Baker, whereby the people that she most trusts are the ones who are actually the ones punishing her. And so for the rest of eternity, she will think that these people love her and are doing the right thing by her, but she will also be constantly tortured and tormented by these people and know no better. But yeah, that whole thing of let's charge people 50 cents to come and see Elisa be tortured, or
that's disgusting, yeah.
All that kind of behaviour, which just is not okay. I think she's got a lot of that coming to her, because without a doubt in my mind, she did the dismembering and she says she didn't, and therefore everything she says is untrustworthy. I don't know Adam's involvement in this. I could see a point where he may have been involved, but I don't see enough evidence to suggest that. So he's on my watch list, but she just needs to cop it.
Yep.
Full throttle.
100%.
I love the idea of the Barnum thing. Come and look at the totally weird people and watch them suffer. You remember how Barnum
the bearded
was
lady?
Not just a bearded lady. Anybody who was deformed
Freak
or
show.
malformed.
Yes.
These people are malformed. Come and watch what happens when you poke them.
Oh, Tony.
Yeah, Jesus. Also, is the cellar flooding? Because I don't know that's what I said, but maybe I wasn't listening. I want her to be actually literally tortured. Invite the neighbours round to stone her, all that sort of stuff.
Jeepers. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened to Sylvia. So I think it's okay.
True.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that was quite awful and quite upsetting.
I think disturbing has a place in that story.
It does. And apologies for anyone who finds our levity in a moment of great darkness offensive. We don't mean to do it, but we have to laugh at something otherwise.
No, we do mean to do it, but we don't mean to be disrespectful.
Correct. If we don't laugh, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. As we say every week, miss you already.
Miss you more.
Ciao.
Miss you like a brain tumour.
Ciao. Oh, my God.
Oh, kind of inappropriate in that one.
Yeah.
Oops.
Okay. Bye-bye. Bye.
Edit.
Thanks for listening to Trial by Wine. You can contact us at trialbywine@gmail.com. Please rate, review and subscribe to Trial by Wine on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. If you'd like to support us, you can become a patron at www.patreon.com, Trial by Wine, or visit our website www.trialbywine.com to donate to us. Your support will help us cover many more cases and apply wacky sentences. We really appreciate you listening and hope you tell everyone about us. Our cover art is by John Christo and music is by Beauchamp from pixabay.com.